Well, as the Palestinian Authority is kicking off its vaccine campaign as well. A new program being organized by Sheba Hashomer Medical Center is setting up vaccine clinics at West Bank checkpoints in order to vaccinate Palestinian workers entering Israel. Let's speak to Professor Arnon Afek, Associate Director General of Sheba Medical Center. Thank you so much for joining us, Doctor.
Thank you and good evening.
Good evening to you as well. Now, please start by telling us about the program I mentioned. Who exactly are you vaccinating? Is this for Palestinian workers entering Israel or any Palestinians who wish to get vaccinated?
So right now what Israel has been vaccinating are Palestinians who are passing the borders. They are workers in Israel. And once they pass the border, we'd like to issue them a vaccine that will do two things. First, enhance the safety of the people of Israel because they are among us, they work among us, and we want everyone who is within our borders to be vaccinated. And of course, the fact that they are vaccinated is also very important to the Palestinian authorities as well, as they return there and they'll be protected from the corona. And as you know, probably the Palestinian authorities has started vaccinating today or these days people above the age of 75. So this joins their common effort to provide immunity to the Palestinian people.
Right. So how many have been vaccinated up until now? And what vaccine are you giving to the Palestinian workers that you're vaccinating?
So we are using the Moderna vaccine. The Moderna is a very, very advanced vaccine, not different in the technology than the Pfizer vaccine. The only difference is that the Moderna vaccine is being administered at 4 weeks after the first dose, while the Pfizer it's 3 weeks after the first dose, but it's the same RNA-based technology. Israel has bought some of these vaccines, and the first one we received are used to vaccinate the Palestinian authorities. Our part of the effort, the vaccination of the people at Shar Menashe and Eyal cross border lines are about 20,000 people. So far, they got the first dose, and within 4 weeks, they'll get, of course, the second one.
I wonder who exactly is involved in this initiative. Like behind the scenes, what organizations had to come together to make this happen?
Well, of course, we joined forces first with the government of Israel who issued this vaccine, the Ministry of Health. We have also partners among the border authorities who are controlling the borders and are part of the missions itself. But I think the most important part of it that we have also Palestinian people with us, both physicians and other representatives of the Palestinian authorities who come join us in the effort and learn from us. So once they'll be back, I'm sure they'll be very fruitful and very helpful in the entire vaccination effort of the Palestinian people.
Do you think that this collaboration could potentially escalate to a situation where Israeli medical organizations are setting up vaccine clinics throughout the West Bank for Palestinians? Is that a possibility?
First, the Palestinians have their own medical authorities and their own Ministry of Health, and they have hospitals. But if they need our help, we are always willing to help. I remind you that at the beginning of the epidemic, once we set at Sheba Medical Center the first corona department in Israel, and afterwards the first corona intensive care unit, we had people from the Palestinian authorities arriving to Sheba and learning from us, like the rest of the Israeli hospitals and the rest of the Israeli health funds. So everyone learned together. And afterwards, we even send teams to Jericho to teach and instruct the people in their own places. So medical collaboration continues all the time, and we'll be very willing, and of course, to help the Palestinians in their own effort. But I do believe they'll be able to do that. They are quite organized.
Dr. Afek, thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate it. All the best.